What is up, guys? Axel here, bringing you basically just how, what to do, what is everything, basically a guide, an English guide for Naruto Mobile, and this is for English, of course. I'm going to go through what I know, and I'm going to do it. It's not going to be a short video, I think, but I'll just explain what I can as fast as I can, and go from there. Alright, starting at the top left where the character is, the 62 is your level, beside it is the name, the orange bar is your experience to your next level, and the number under it is your combat power showing like how strong your characters and such are, and it also helps to determine what you can do and all that kind of stuff. Right beside it is the VIP stuff. So if you spend real life money, you can bring that up. I think it goes up to 15, I believe. But if you're free to play, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, honestly. When you click on your profile, it'll show you some other stats. Nothing that important here. It just shows you your team, some achievements, the type of people you have, your gear, your summons, and all that. And I'll explain all that shortly. But yeah, let's continue. Under the character is a gear, that is your settings. You can do a couple things here. I don't know much about this, but it takes you off the game. This is in-game settings right here. The middle button, like volume controls and all that. And this right here, I have no idea, but it doesn't seem to be much of relevance. Under that is the two blue characters. It's just your friend list basically, and I haven't found much else to really do on this. So yeah. Next is the little mail. This is if you have any mail, this is where it'll be. Um, yeah, that's about it. Next is a microphone. You can just talk, that kind of good jazz. And let's head over to the very bottom left corner of the screen. The headband is the characters you have, and you can just scroll through them if you want. Um, Nothing too special here. This is just where you switch your characters. To switch your characters, you touch the button on the very, very bottom right, where there's the big, like, triangular thing, basically, and that'll switch you to the character that you're wanting to play. Right beside it is a smaller diamond thing. What this does is you can level up more of your combat power, basically, the thing we talked about earlier, right under the profile. You have to have, as you look on the very bottom right, you have to have at least 10 stones to upgrade this, and I only have 3 at the moment. You can get these, the easiest way being an event where you send characters out on a mission, and I'll show you that shortly. Next is the little dude with the brain right beside the headband, basically to the right. This is nothing much more than just combat power. The button on the very bottom right is that is how you level it up. But yeah, you just spend money, not in-game money, and you have to do the campaign to unlock more and more of these. Next is the Kunai. You unlock these depending on what level you are. You unlock these at certain points in the game, but we'll just go in order from the left to the right. So the left is the gear you will have. The very top button where it shows the currency, that is how much it costs to upgrade it. You can level it, goes to the max level of what your level is on the account. So as you'll see on the top left, I am 62. They're all at 62. You cannot upgrade past it. It'll basically say you can't do this. Um, on the very bottom, well, not on the very bottom, but right under that, this yellow button right here that I'm touching, if you can see, you have to get these materials from the story, the campaign, and that is how you will upgrade it to make it give you more power, basically. And it applies for all of these items, basically. Next is the little three shuriken thing. right beside it. Basically, the easiest way to explain this is this basically gems basically like example if you've played summoners or for example you have runes you don't level up the runes and it's the same way but I'll show you for example you will touch one that you have on the side or you can even just touch this for example well it should but if not then you touch this left button right here and then you'll see it went up to 100 and then when I do it again, it does it to 110. Then you touch the middle button and it infuses it into that, and you don't get CP immediately. It's whenever it upgrades to the next piece. But yeah, you can do that for all of these, and it's mostly just time consuming, is what it is, but it's not really a big deal at all. An early game, anyways, I should say. It does get important though later on. Next, if you look where the red dots are, which I know you see a lot, but to the right of the shuriken at the very top, you go down one and you will see these. I'll explain this in a later video in more detail, but basically what this is you can do the same thing that you do with your gear for your animal summons. That's the easiest way to explain it. Next, we'll talk about the little amulet thing, the necklace. Pretty straightforward here, nothing too serious. It's basically just equipping your character with more items. So for example, let's see here. It looks better. Let's try it on and see. It is not. So let's equip it. I think I pressed the wrong button, did I? Let's see. Okay, no, I did not. Okay, so yeah, basically pretty straightforward. To equip it, you will, when you first get them, you'll go here. It is this very far right button right here. So you just equip it from that basically. To dismantle it or to get rid of it, it's the very far left button. And to upgrade it, it is the second to right where the red circle is basically. The second to the left, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but yeah, just go with it. Just go with it. Alright, so that's basically just to upgrade your combat power, basically. Lastly, on the very far right is the fan. Pretty simple stuff here. You touch it, and well, I can't touch that one, but I'll touch it, and you get these stones, and you just upgrade it. The only thing it really does is it just upgrades your combat power, which, you know, is very important, but yeah. To get more, you will be doing these little, you can either buy them or do missions, which I'll explain a little bit further in the video how you can get those. So that takes care of all that. Next is the animal right beside the shuriken and the kunai. This is your summon basically that you can use in game, and yeah, you just upgrade it for more combat power, and it makes your animal summon more stronger basically. Every 50 levels you can unlock a new one, so it does cost a hefty amount of money once you level it up pretty high up, but it's worth it. Lastly, before we get to the right side of the screen, it is this scroll right here. This is basically, it teaches you a jutsu, basically, that's all it really is. Yeah, I'm putting that on there. Um, yeah, so literally these are just jutsus that you can learn. That's the easiest way to explain that for sure. And each one does do various things. Alright, so in the top middle, you have your ramen. This is your energy campaign missions, which I'll show you in a second. It consumes 5 per match. You get started off at 200, but in early game, you get a lot of free ramen, so it's all good. Beside it is your currency, basically your money, basically. That's your in-game money, so you don't pay for that. You can, but that would be pointless and stupid. Um, yeah, this is just your money you can spend to upgrade items and all that. To the right of it is your gold, which is my 497. That's what you can use to buy characters, all that kind of stuff. If you can buy gold for VIP and all that, and you will get a lot of gold and all that, and it does help out a little bit. It'll process things faster and all that, but honestly, I'm free to play and it's not a big deal. Alright, so let's get to the right side of the screen now. The frog, this is just an advertisement for VIP, don't worry about it. The little red balloon thing, this is basically like a little mission slash, trying to think of the easiest way to explain it, but like events basically, that's what they are. So you do these events and they just, do various things. This will give you some random items. This is whatever. This is like a little postcard thing, and this will give you free 523 gold, which is nice. Beside it is the shop, the very top far right. There's no other way to explain it, just the very far top right. It's a bag. This one has your free ramen. The very top one gets free ramen at certain times of the day, depending on what part of the country you're at. This is an event going on right now to unlock a character, basically. Um, this is another event that's coming out eventually, I believe. Another event for VIP. Another event for VIP. Another event. I'm not sure what this one is because it hasn't released yet, I think. And then another event. They're just more events, basically. All right. So under the balloon, uh, is right, but like if you look at the frog, go to the right one and then down one is more events. This is the pain event basically. You can get certain items from this. You probably don't want to do this until you're more further into the game, and at that point it'll probably change. Beside it is a head basically, but it's a ninja. This is where you get your free summons. As you see above Naruto's head, it says 9 hours. That's how long until I get my free summon. You get pieces basically, and you can get any of these items basically. So rocks, you can get these blue things that I was talking about earlier, um, just money, animal currency, and you can get pieces for any of these people that it shows. Next is the middle one. This is the Raikage. You get him every 3 days, and at the start of the game, you do get a decent amount of scrolls, so you can pick up a nice character. These are all the characters you can get. These are the pieces. And every 10 summons, you can get one of these without getting the pieces. So just hope to get a S or A rank. That'd be nice. Alright, under the ninja on the very far right is a cat. This is the shop basically. You can buy numerous things here. You can buy pieces for characters and so on. The bottom one is, in my opinion, the most important. These chests have different items, but you can every once in a while you can spend 2,900 I think gold and get a free B rank character, which is nice. Beside that is another event going on. It's the candle event. You have to be up at a certain time. It's just an event, basically, no big deal. And lastly, the very bottom is your box. Right before the very bottom, they show you under the cat is a box. It's your missions, basically. This is your daily missions, your, I believe, lifetime missions, and VIP missions, I think, is what these are. So, yeah. The missions are pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can't read them, of course, but if you touch the arrow, it'll point at you to what to do. So, yeah, there you go. Alright, so the very bottom scroll on the very bottom right is your campaign, basically. So what you do is pretty straightforward. You start off at the very first mission, and it'll give you three objectives basically. Majority of the time, the mission objectives are complete the match, beat it with at least 30 seconds remaining, and just basic crap like that. There's also one occasionally that'll be like, make sure you don't lose 50% health or whatever, and such forth. The very bottom right button is how you start it. When you get all three, if you complete all the objectives for it, you can auto run it by example, touching it and touching the kunai in the middle beside the big diamond button, basically. The button beside it is your ninjas, basically, so you can switch between them here, and yeah. Alright, so getting out of that, oh, one more thing I'll show you. You can also, depending on how many of the objectives you complete, you can unlock small boxes down here, and they give you certain items. I've got to show one more thing. At the very top left, you have the blue, which is your story, basically. And this is how you can unlock characters, basically. Just by doing these, you can do it 3 times a day. You can auto them 3 times a day once you complete the objectives, and you have it's not a guaranteed 100% chance, but you can just do all these missions basically, and I mean you can do all these same things over and over again and eventually get all these characters, which is nice. Free characters. Alright, so now that we're done with all that, let's get to the main part. A lot of this is pretty easy to explain, so let's just go right through it. The very, very far right side right here, this basically gets you your scrolls to get jutsu, gives you the blue stones also, and animal currency. The scroll, just in case if you forgot, is this right here. No, it's not. It is the scroll on the very bottom left, right closest to the frog. This is how you get these things right here, basically. Next, above it, to the top left of that, is this little mountain thing. This is basically, I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this, but uh, it's not online PvP, but it picks a random character basically that is from online, and it basically you just play against them and you can unlock these squirrel things. As you see on the top right, I have 1020. You go to the button on the very bottom right beside it where the scroll is, and you can get character pieces. You can auto this daily, but you don't get to use all your characters, and as soon as you're done, you're done. The ramen button in the middle beside the scroll is basically your daily restart, so you can restart it over and over again. Alright, under that, where Neji is basically, why is it not going to it? That's weird. It should go to, I think that's, okay, whatever. I'll explain that at the very end. Okay, so to the left of that, this little building, to the left of Neji at the bottom, this is your events that you can do daily twice. The left is free experience, the middle is free frog animal currency, and the right side is your free money, basically. You can do this twice a day, in 5-minute intervals at most. Alright, so to the left of that, where the Hokage office is in the middle, basically, this is your PvP. I don't know what the very two on the far right are, but the very far left one is offline, I mean unranked PvP, and the one beside it to the right is ranked PvP. I'm pretty sure the other two are some form of PvP, but that's whatever. Under the two that I mentioned, the ranked and unranked, there's a little shop down here, and this is where you can rent stuff basically. So you can rent these characters and you can use them for a certain period of time. To the left of it is a kunai, and that is your training ground basically, so you can practice with the character. And yeah. Alright, so to the left of the Hokage's office, down going bottom to going to the bottom a little bit, is the, we'll call it the treehouse that's on fire. This is for guild stuff right here. Nothing much to it. You do the very bottom one for a daily event, and that's about it. But yeah, this is for clans mostly. Below that is a burnt down building, right where the scroll is. This is your missions basically. As you see, you can get stones here. All you got to do is basically when you click on one of them, you don't do anything for them other than basically click on it and you pick characters basically. That's all you have to really do. So that one is right under the scroll basically is at the moment. So the scroll and the frog basically. Alright, above that towards the Hokage summit. This is basically, I don't really know what this is. It's like a leaderboard, I guess. You just touch the thumbs up button once and you get free money. So that's about it. To the left of that, where there's the red dot, this is your auto battle PvP. Literally, all you do is touch the bottom right button, and you'll see basically under my characters, I have the B rank Naruto, the C rank Sasuke, and the B rank Neji. My number is 620890. If the person on, if one of the four people are under that number, you can attack them and you should win. If they're above it, you're probably going to lose. That's what it is, but it's auto, so you don't play it. The computer plays it for you. Alright, to the left of that is something that isn't released yet. I can't really explain what this is, but it's an event that has yet to been released. And below that, right beside the building under the scroll to the left of it, is basically like a little, I don't know how to explain it, but like you go flashback through events basically, and you get a small little reward for it basically. All right, and lastly, on the very, very far left is something else that's not working for whatever reason. I don't know why. But either way, I can say for a fact that either the far left building or the one where Neji's at is your amulet run. And your amulet run is basically where you get these things right here. So, yeah. And eventually we'll go more in depth with everything, but that is basically just the most simplest way I can put all of this into perspective in a semi-short manner. If y'all enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all on the next video. Later.